So hard disk is a combination of different circular plates. The flash is a solid state memory that has no moving parts. So communication processing unit takes care of all the communication which is happening in the mobile phone. Hello everyone, I welcome all of you to the second session on the chapter Computer System Overview. In the previous session, I have discussed a lot of basic content which we have in this chapter. It's all about the different components of computer. Before I start the session for all of you, let me just give you the recap of it and then I'll move on to the today's topic. So what is that we have discussed in the last session? Let's have a quick recap. So we discussed about the components of computer, especially the block diagram of the computer. So in that we have discussed different units which we come across in the computer. What is the first unit that we have? So we have input unit. So input unit is responsible to handle all the input, whatever which is given by the user with the help of input devices. So in the same way, I have the output unit to manage all the output with the help of output devices, but please remember we have something in between. That is what I will call it as a memory unit, and we have control unit. Along with that, I have arithmetic logic unit. So altogether we have four different units. So the first one is input and the second one is output, memory unit as well as control unit, along with that arithmetic logic unit. So guys, I think I spoke about input unit and output unit. Then what is memory unit? When it comes to memory unit, I will be storing the data. I'll be storing the data. When it comes to memory unit, again, the memory unit is getting divided into two parts. One is primary memory, another one is secondary memory. When it comes to primary memory, I will be speaking about the RAM, but when it comes to secondary memory, I will be speaking about the storage devices which is storing the data permanently. So I can also take out the name as ROM. So I think I have discussed in detail about this memory unit in the previous session. Along with that, I have discussed about the control unit. So control unit controls and coordinates all the activity which is happening in the system is what you need to remember. If I want to execute any arithmetic or logical operations, I need to use the ALU unit. So it is responsible to perform all the arithmetical and logical operations is what you need to remember. This is the overview, this is the overcap of the previous session what I have discussed. I think all of you know about it. So let's not waste much time on this again. We'll move on to the next topic. I will be discussing the storage unit. I'll be discussing the storage units that we have to store the data permanently. So along with that, I will also discuss about the system bus. Including that, I will be discussing mobile system organization. So this is what I will be discussing in today's session with all of you. So let's start without wasting your time. So I have storage unit. Why do I have storage unit? I have RAM. So that I will call it as a main memory, and also I will call it as a primary memory. But the problem with the RAM or with a main memory is I cannot store the data permanently. Why? Because I call that as a volatile memory. Whenever I turn off the power, whatever the data that I have, everything will be erased. So in this situation, I need to store my data permanently. So to solve this problem, I have one more category of storage units that I will call it as a secondary memory. In today's session, I will be discussing about the different secondary storage that I have. The first one that I would like to start with is hard disk. All of you are using the hard disk in your daily life. How exactly it is working, how exactly we have the hard disk is what I'm going to discuss in short in this slide with all of you. So hard disk is a combination of different circular plates. I have a collection of circular plates inside the hard disk. So each plate is coated with a magnetic surface. Each plate is coated with a magnetic surface and each disc is placed inside the spindle. So I will have the handle like this. I will be placing all the magnetic disc to that spindle. If I want to read the data or if I want to write the data, I will have the head. With the help of that head, I will go to that particular memory location and I will read or write the data. So this is how my hard disk is working. So, and whenever I speak about the hard disk, obviously it is a secondary storage device. It stores the data permanently. That's what you need to remember and which already you know about it. Moving on to the next one, I think all of you know about it. We have something called CD, compact disk. What exactly compact disk and how many different types of compact disk do we have? So when it comes to the secondary storage, we have something called compact disk. In this, we have three different types of compact disk. The first one that we have is CD-ROM. Whenever it has been manufacturing at that particular point of time, the data will be burnt. You can just only read. You will not be able to do anything. Even you cannot write anything. Only it is possible to read. That is what we need to call it as CD-ROM. Yes, you will be getting the manual guides whenever you purchase any product. So along with that, you will get a CD, right? So that's what we call it as a CD-ROM. The data is burned during the manufacturing time. You will not be able to do anything else. You just have to go through that data. You are allowed to read the content, what we have in the CD. But when it comes to CDR, what is CDR? Please observe, compact disk recordable. Whatever the data that you want to record, you can record to this particular CD. But please remember, you can record only once. Only once. Write once, read many is the concept that this type of CD follows. But I have one more type of CD. Please understand, CD rewritable. I can write n number of times and I can read n number of times is the method that we are following in this type of CD. This is all about the CD that you all should know, and already you know about it. But the main thing is we can store very limited amount of data in this CD. To solve this problem, we are moving on to the next type of disk, that is DVD. Why do we need DVD? The capacity of the storage increases when we compare to the CD. The capacity of storage increases when we compare to the CD is the most advantage that we have with the DVD. Digital versatile disk is the full form of DVD, and even DVD comes with three different types. The first one that we have, DVD-ROM. As I explained in the CD-ROM, the same thing will happen with the DVD-ROM, and I have with the DVD-R. DVD-R in the sense DVD recordable. Write once and read many times is what you need to understand when it comes to the concept of DVD recordable. Again, I have the same feature with the DVD rewritable. I can write n number of times and I can read n number of times is what you need to remember when it comes to the DVD rewritable. This is one of the important concepts that you need to remember when it comes to the concept of DVD. So fine, we have studied about the DVD and you need to remember one more important point. So please understand. So compact disk, but it is also able to hold 15 times as much information transfer. It computers to 20 times as fast as CD-ROM. They are trying to compare DVD with CD. When they compare, it is more faster and it has got more space than the CD. What is the next one that we have? We have flash memory. What exactly this flash memory is all about? It's one of the interesting memory that we have. We use this flash memory even in the pen drives. Why do we use this flash memory? What is the advantage of using this flash memory? Please listen to me. It's very interesting. So the thumb drives or the pen drives, the cell phones today, you are using the flash memory. So we are using this flash memory in the pen drives or in the mobile phones in day-to-day life. Why should we use this flash memory? Please listen to me. The flash is a solid state memory that has no moving parts. That is the major point that you have to remember. Whenever it comes to the hard disk, it is very sensitive because it has got the collection of magnetic platers. Along with that magnetic platers, there is a head. So when it has got the head, and it is very, very sensitive to the shocks, you cannot handle it very hardly. So the problem that we had is with the hard disk. So it is very sensitive, and it is very, very sensitive with the shocks. You cannot handle it very hardly. But when it comes to the flash drives, so please understand, so we don't have any moving parts inside the flash drives. That is the most advantage that we have with the flash drives. Please understand, so that is very similar way to the RAM. That is very similar way to the RAM. It works exactly like RAM. That is the second point that you should remember when it comes to the flash memory. Point number one that you have to remember, it's a fastest memory like a RAM. Point number two, it does not have any moving parts like the hard disk. So that's important thing that you should remember. And also the third point that we have is the key difference is that the data is retained even if the power goes off. That's very advantageous. I repeat for all of you, even the power goes off, the data whatever I have is retained in the flash memory, but it will not happen in the RAM, but here in the flash drives it happens like that. So that is the most advantage that we have in the flash memory. What is the next one that we have? The next one that we have is Blu-ray disc. Why do we need to have this Blu-ray disc? First of all, it's almost similar to the normal optical disc, but the speciality of Blu-ray disc is whenever I want to store high definition images, high definition videos, I will be using this Blu-ray disc. Why do we need to use this Blu-ray disc? The capacity of Blu-ray disc is more when we compare to other optical disc. Along with that, why do we call that Blu-ray disc as Blu-ray? What is the speciality behind that? If you want to know, of course, yes, in the normal discs, like it can be CD or it can be DVD, anything, we use red laser lights. But when we compare this with a Blu-ray disc, we use, please remember, we use blue violet laser. Blue violet laser. That is the main reason to name that as Blu-ray disc. That is the main reason to name that as Blu-ray disc, is what you should make a point of it. So fine, we understood Blu-ray disc also. So what is the next one that we have? Very important thing, the system bus. Why do we have the system bus? Why do we use the bus? Can you all tell me? Yes, of course, we use the bus to travel from one place to another place. In the same way, in the computer also, I have the data to be traveled from one electronic component to another electronic component. Sir, will you only send the data? No, I have some control signals. I have the address. I have the input output. I need to transmit this from one electronic component to another electronic component. Then how do I transmit? So with the help of bus, I will be transmitting all this four. What is that for? Data, address, control signals, input output signals. So that's what I'm going to discuss with the concept of system bus. Let's have a check how many different types of system bus we have. We have 4 different types of system bus. Suppose if I am transmitting, or if the bus is carrying the data in the bus, that bus I will call it as a data bus. It's very simple to remember. In the same way, I have control bus. Why do I use control bus? If the control bus is transmitting or if it is carrying the control signal, then I will call that as control bus. The same way I have the next bus, that is address bus. If I am sending or if the bus is carrying the address in that bus, I will call that as address bus. In the same way, the last bus that I have, if the bus is carrying the input and output signals, then I will call that as input output bus, is what you need to remember. This is the different types of bus that we had, is what you need to remember. Moving on to the next topic, this is very interesting. I think all of you know about it. So let me not spend much time on this. What is the topic that we have? We have mobile system organization. How exactly the mobile system is organized? Logically, I will be explaining that with the diagram. One by one. Let me start with the first one. What is the first one that I have? Mobile processor. In the same way like how I had CPU, central processing unit, in the same way even for the mobile. CPU I had it for the computer, even for the mobile I have the central processing unit. In that central processing unit, I have mainly two units. The first one that I have, communication processing unit, and the second one that I have, application processing unit. So what is this communication processing unit and application processing unit? So communication processing unit takes care of all the communication which is happening in the mobile phone. But when it comes to the applications, everything will be managed by application processing unit, is what you need to remember. The next one that I have is display subsystem. What exactly display subsystem is all about? When it comes to the display, I will have touch screen. I will have to display a lot of content on the display. So how do we manage? Who will be managing all the activities which is happening in the display? Everything is responsible by the display subsystem. So please make a note of it. The subsystem is responsible for providing the display facility. Display facility in the sense what? So please remember touch sensitivity interface. That is a major role when it comes to the smartphones. Display subsystem is responsible to provide the touch sensitivity facility. That is the one of the important point that you need to understand. The second one that I have is, this is an important subsystem as most mobile phone system get instructions through the touch based and other sensors. And very importantly, it supports display screens, touch sensitivity and the interface touch sensitivity keyboards. So all the activity which happens with the display, it can be a touch screen, it can be any displaying images or making a layout of interface. Everything which related to the display is taken care by display subsystem. In the same way, I have the next concept, that is camera subsystem. Each and everything which is related to the camera, clicking a photo, processing that photo, editing that photo. So everything which is related to the camera will be taken care by the camera subsystem. So that is one of the important points that you need to remember. Please observe for each and everything we have configured, we have the subsystems in the mobile organization. Moving on to the next one that we have the memory. In the same way, like how we had it in the computer, even in the mobile phones, we have RAM and we have ROM. If you want to execute any applications, if you want to open any applications, all the applications which is getting executed, every applications will come inside the RAM and it will get executed. So again, the RAM is a volatile memory that we have in the phone. Once the execution of the application is done, so it will be removed from the RAM. So RAM is a volatile memory, nothing will be stored permanently inside the RAM. But when it comes to ROM, so ROM works as a non-volatile memory and it stores the data permanently. So that's what you need to remember when it comes to the RAM and ROM of the mobile system. In the same way, I have storage. If I want to extend my memory in the mobile phones, obviously all of you know that the internal storage, I will call it as RAM. And also if I want to extend, I can extend that with the SD cards. So that is one of the extra feature that we have to extend the permanent memory. So by if you want to store any media like image, audio, video, you can use that memory for the permanent storage, is what they are speaking with respect to the storage. Moving on to the next one, that we have power management subsystem. So power management subsystem is responsible to keep the battery life for a longer time by distributing the power to your system whenever you are using different applications. And also the power management plays a very vital role to get the signals, to get the good signal strength. In fact, suppose if the good signals are not reaching your phone, so it has to spend a lot of power for searching the signals. So all the power management will be taken care by power management subsystem, is what you need to remember. So guys, by this I have come to an end of the session. So please understand, so it's very easy and very interesting. So I have some more topics on this chapter, so I will be covering that in the coming session. So till then, take care of your health, take care of yourself. Thank you. Bye bye.